Champ Ron, we're here for the Minding Your Business podcast on Wednesday, April the 11th, here at the Agents of XChange Networking and Technology meeting here. Looking forward to great presentation with the main man, Greg Bernard, with Data Maxim, IT consultant extraordinaire, that's going to deliver some great value today. So we're getting ready to get started, so let's do it.
What we do here is go back.
All right. So good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Ron Brooks. For those that don't know me, and it's great to have a room full of some folks that hadn't had a chance to meet, and obviously some familiar faces. So this is the Agents of XChange, it's networking and technology, and I'm excited. We did our first one here last month, and so for a few of you that were here last month, got a chance to hear from John White with Intro Business Solutions. John, real quick, has there been any kind of follow-up, or you've been able to talk to some folks here?
Yeah, I have talked to a couple of people that were here. We already started doing business together, so it's definitely great meeting.
Yeah, that's what it's about. And I've heard from some other people who've had a chance to really do business, and ultimately that's what it's about. So there's no money grab in this for me. Matter of fact, Greg and I paid for lunch, so we have our lunch sponsors. But this is really just about connectivity and just networking and kind of bringing in some like-minded people that are seriously interested in connecting and hopefully at some point doing business without the pressure of a lot of corporate structures and things like that. So without any further time, because I do want to get to our value today and introduce our presenter, but I would like to kind of go around the room so that everybody gets a chance to know kind of who's here and who to kind of follow up with and that kind of thing, and know who's in the room. So if we could go around for maybe about 60 seconds apiece and kind of tell who you are, name of your business and your organization, and kind of what you're looking for these days. It's good for everybody here to have a good understanding of not just who you are, but what you're looking for. So if you happen to come across it or think about it, you kind of know who to call and make the connection to, if that makes sense. So I'm also recording, so we're on the Minding Your Business podcast, which is my podcast. Usually do new episodes every week, except for the weeks that we have the networking where I do 2 episodes. And so you may see me come around. I'm recording it from this familiar device here that I think we're all familiar with, the phone. Anybody ever heard of a smartphone? So we're going to go around, and the great thing about this is, the podcast is listened to here across Memphis, and then even outside of this Memphis kind of Shelby County area in some other cities. And so there's an opportunity for other people to hear about who you are and what you do, and you never know. There's been connections that have been made even outside of that through the podcast that I'm really excited about. So without any further ado.
All right, well, I'm Cass Thomas. With Champ's Construction Contractors. I do rehab and renovations and additions and flooring and drywall and anything you probably need in that area. We can get it done. Just here, I guess, trying to get the whole message and the networking. And I saw networking, and I saw some things that were saying about teaching about the networking and the IT factor of the business. So I'm open, man. I'm ready to learn. I'm ready to receive all information. So
yeah, excellent. Yep, so glad you could come. Yep, you're in the right place for that. So, yes, ma'am.
Jessica Allen. I'm with Strategic Financial Partners. I want to do something a little bit different. I want you guys to all think about your favorite vacation. You guys know where you are. Somebody might be in New York, somebody's on the beach, right? My job is to help you get there. I'm a financial advisor, and so we work with cash flow management, insurance, to do a little bit of everything to get you to your goals. Jessica Allen, Strategic Financial Partners.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Jessica. Yes, sir.
I'm Von Ware. I'm in law enforcement, been in law enforcement for 25 years altogether. I help Mr. Carter. He runs his own nonprofit with NYTT, Mental Technology. And I'm just here to learn and to network, to see what's out here and what's to be grabbed. And good network. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Mr. Carter invited me, and I know Greg, and it's been good.
Yeah. Excellent. Yep. So glad you're here. Thank you for coming.
Awesome.
Yes, ma'am.
My name is Antoinette Miller. I'm the founder of I Am IT Training. I work with two target markets per se. One are people who want to make IT a career. So getting them those entry steps, getting them certified, specializing in cybersecurity or network infrastructure, which is all the wires and things that you don't want to see in a business, but you need to get online. And the other side is I work with small business owners and medium business owners to make their software and hardware more effective. So if there's something that you have in place that you're not necessarily familiar with, or you know is capable of more than what your brain knows, I can help you make the most of that software. So I've been training for about 10 years, everything from Cisco and the Department of Defense down to 1- and 2-person businesses, helping them use Excel or Microsoft's products to not have to go buy really expensive tools. So those are the two things that I can help with. And again, it's I Am IT, and I'm happy to give a card after the presentation. So I'm excited to be here, and I appreciate y'all's questions, and of course, Greg. Everyone knows Greg.
Yep, thank you. I'm going to jump over here.
Okay. Hi, good afternoon. My name is Kevin Allen. I'm the Chief Thinking Officer for a company called AHA Creations. My wife and I own it. It's just us, 2 people, but we offer brand marketing and graphic design services. Also do a little human potential coaching on the side, so if you feel stuck, kind of lost your way, don't know where you're at, or you just want to level up, help with that too. And my purpose is to just learn from you all and serve and be of value to you.
Yep, excellent. Thank you. I'm going to go with the ladies here.
Sure, absolutely. Greetings, everyone. My name is April Chambers. I am with Chambers & Associates. I represent American National Insurance. I specialize in homeowners, auto, life, and business insurance, and I'm excited to be here.
Yep, excellent. Thank you. Excited to have you.
I'm Rebecca Edwards with Jasco Realtors. I help people buy and sell homes and businesses, so I can help you with residential and commercial properties. And April and I go hand in hand.
Thank you. Yep, yin and yang.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right. I'll stand up. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gil Carter. I'm the Executive Director and founder of the First Year Foundation Incorporated, First Year for short. We are a nonprofit organization with a focus on infant mortality, and we want to help pregnant women have better birth outcomes and optimal maternal health by placing emphasis on fitness, health, and wellness, and proper nutrition. So I founded our company in 2011, and we're steadily growing. Also, I'm looking to get on with Tredebi Environmental Services. So I must say, please excuse my bedside manner. I may have to step out and jump into my own personal telephone booth like Clark Kent and change. I just got back.
Not like Captain America. That's your shield.
Yes, my vibrating shield. But I do have an interview today with the plant manager at the Millington facility at 2:30, so I'm excited about that. Also have a great interest in IT, as I've had some very meaningful conversations with Antoinette,
Yes.
Vaughn, and Randall, and looking forward to speaking with Greg as well. So I am looking to also delve into IT. But again, my primary focus is first year, and I got a lot of good things going. So again, Gil Carter, first year, and just glad to be here. It's great to see everyone.
Yeah, excellent. Yep, thanks, Gil. Congratulations on your interview, too.
Thank you.
I'm Scott Kinney. I am your local representative for Team National. Team National is a 21-year-old company, a multi-million-dollar debt-free company that we have one thing that we do. We help people save more money and earn more money. Now, you might want to see Jessica after you talk to me, because I can't tell you what to do with it, but I could sure make it holler. So that's a good thing. We work with families and individuals. We also work with companies, helping them save money and bring more foot traffic into their door. We also work with nonprofits. Okay. I've got a beautiful, design that can help nonprofits actually become their own residual funding.
Okay.
So it's a great thing. Team National, Scott Kinney.
All right. Thank you so much.
Excuse me.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Randall Carter. I'm the Executive Director for Mentoring Youth Through Technology. We're a nonprofit organization that provides hands-on technology services to youth ages 6 to 18, robotics, coding, game development, things of that nature. Trying to get the kids more involved in technology with the hopes that they pursue it as a career. We have technology centers. We have 2 technology centers in Illinois. We just built one in Olive Branch, Mississippi, and we look to have one hopefully in Memphis at the last quarter of this year. It was referred by Mr. Bernard, who's been a great supporter of our program. IMIT has been a great supporter, and we're looking for a number of things, right? So a number of things: volunteers, support, trainers, marketing area, finance. So thank you. I look forward to hearing from you guys.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you. I'm gonna jump over here.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Darnell Reed. I'm the founder of Good Hands. We provide peace of mind to families, knowing that their loved one is being cared for in the comfort of their home. You know, it just really started in 2010, just needing services for my grandmother, and it's blown up and grown since then. And so I'm just here really to support my cousin, Greg here, and really here to network and meet a lot of people. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Hey, everybody, I'm the owner and principal broker for Intro Business Solutions. We do alternative funding and financing for startups and small businesses. We pretty much help the small business person out. We do all type of programs from equipment leasing financing, sales leasebacks, factoring, working capital lines of credit. Pretty much we run the whole gamut when it comes to financing funding for startups and small businesses. I'd love to sit down and talk with you guys. We do free consultation and no application fees.
All right. Yeah. Excellent. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Hello, everyone. My name is Roderick Selman. Feel free to call me Rod. I'm the founder of STL Financial. STL stands for Set the Foundation. What I am is a life insurance expert. I show people how to pretty much use life insurance as a financial tool other than just simple death benefit these days. I work with individuals, new families, growing families, as well as business owners, making sure they have a proper business continuation plan and they can properly have the best interest of themselves, their families, as well as hopefully they love their employees as well.
Yep, hopefully. Thank you. Yeah, that's always good. Definitely. Yes, sir.
Hello, everyone. My name is Gabe. I am a mentoree of Greg here. Quite simple. It's a field that I have somewhat of experience in, but I'm trying to learn more about and further my knowledge and skills. My main preference and main skills are personal training, and I'm also in school for massage therapy. Along with what you're trying to do is a health and wellness fit that I plan on opening a business next year, and so I'm actually glad to be in a room to further network with people and just be able to learn more and again just be able to network with you guys. So thank you for having me.
Yep, excellent. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Nick Smith. I am the founder and senior financial advisor at the Berkeley Financial Firm. And my goal within my company is first and foremost to educate, because believe it or not, there is epidemic as far as it goes with financial literacy. So my plan and my business is to help change that, and I do that by educating individuals and business owners on strategic income planning for the future. So, and I'm here I love to meet people. I'm a glutton for knowledge, so whether it's IT or anything else, it's free and available.
Free. Yeah, I caught that piece.
If it's scholarship.
Right. So his ticket will be $20 next time. No, thank you, brother. Yes, sir.
Well, I definitely like to stand up, and there's a plethora of financial professionals in here. Likewise, I am a financial professional. I specialize in insurance and retirement solutions, but I also am a founder of MSM Mission Works, and it's funded and founded because of financial literacy across the board. We know that that's an epidemic. I'm glad he said that, because that's one of the things that no matter who you are, we need to start from the ground floor up, and that's what we can do to save our entire community. I'm a military vet, 24 years, and that was something I saw across the entire country, not just here in the States.
Thanks for the service.
Yeah, thank you. Hand clap for that for service.
We got to know that
in the room also, so I'm not the only
Yes.
one. So
Yeah. For your service.
Good.
Thank you.
I actually am the expansion head for a company called PHP Agency. It is a field marketing organization for 32 insurance companies, which I just found out I got a partner back there with American National because they are one of our arms that we actually support. So I want to give diversity to the community at the same time because diversity always wins.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much. And for our friend that just joined, we're on the Minding Your Business podcast that's recording as well, but thank you for coming. And if you want to give maybe 60 seconds, tell us who you are and what business you're with and what you're looking for.
All right, well, my name is Liberty Priceless, and I'm with Lovely Grand Collection, and we are all natural skin and hair care company, and we make all our products based off of Shape Up.
Okay.
And anybody that want to find us, you can find us on umbrand.com. That's IMGRAND.com.
Yeah, excellent. No, thank you. Thank you. For myself, again, I'm Ron Brooks. I am 16-year banking career, I guess veteran in that sense, but I've struck out kind of full-time on my own. I'm the president of Brooks Brothers Consulting, where I work with leaders, and I help companies groom leaders. So whether at the executive level, the director level, the management level, and whether they're new to the position and or new to the company, I come in and provide kind of the leadership, coaching, and mentorship to help them develop the critical thinking skills around the role to be successful in their career and then to drive performance for their company. I'm also an ISO, so I work with John White through a subsidiary company of mine now that's Capital Solutions, where I work with John as an ISO and provide the same level of funding and service that he provides working with him. So I'm very excited about that as well. So definitely some good stuff. I did want to give a little bit of logistics for some people that came in. If there's any food left, I don't know if everybody ran through all the chicken back there, but apparently it's pretty good. But if there's any left, you're certainly welcome to that. The restrooms.
There's beverages too as well.
Oh, there is? Okay, yeah, definitely. So wash it down with some beverage. There's a private restroom back here, and then there's restrooms in the center of this space too for those that are new to this location. All right, so to keep things moving, I want to introduce our speaker. It's the last person that hadn't had a chance to introduce himself. A few years back, I had a chance to meet this what I determined was a great man of integrity, and someone who really has a good passion for technology. And as you can see, as I'm doing the podcast, I wouldn't have been able to do this 10 years ago, right? 10 years ago, I would have had to go to a radio station and pay for airtime to have any kind of audience in terms of a platform. Nowadays, you can do a podcast, and like I said, I'm right here from my phone, and this goes all over the world. People listen to it here in Memphis. I get people that inbox me from Russia. I've got a guy that wants to be on the show from Texas next week, so I've got to talk to him at some point today. So there's a huge reach for that, and I just started this in August. And so, every one of you that, as you went around the room, I kept thinking of how technology impacts all your businesses. And has. All your industries are impacted by technology and are going to continue to be. And if you're not aware, and if you're not open to the possibilities of where technology will take your industry, you'll get left behind, whether you're in corporate, whether you have your own business, nonprofit sector, whatever. So I asked Greg Bernard, who is the principal IT consultant and principal of Data Maxim, to lead today's kind of conversation. This is not a monologue, so we're not at the University of Memphis or CBU. So he's not Professor Bernard, he's Greg Bernard today. He keeps the same professor hat. So this is an open dialogue. So feel free to ask questions. Feel free to challenge some of the critical thinking. Feel free to agree and give him some praise. I'm sure Greg will enjoy that. But I'll let him tell you a little bit more about his background. But without any further ado, Greg Bernard.
Good afternoon, everybody. First, I want to say thanks to Ron. I call him RGB.
Yeah.
I want to say thanks to him for putting this together. I've only known him a short time, but he's an awesome guy. He really is. He's really passionate about business. He's passionate about people. And when he asked me, did I want to speak, I said, yeah, most definitely. So I really like to give him a hand for putting this together. I also want to thank all of you guys, because you could have been doing anything else than coming out and getting some free lunch and listening to me. I can tell you that IT can be very boring. I'm going to try to make it interesting. I'm going to try to make the conversation very interactive. So if you have any questions, feel free to stop me. I'm going to try to keep the conversation kind of like at a high level. When I go and present to executives, I always try to keep it, understandable. So I'm going to keep it. I'm not going to use any geek speak today. So I'm going to. It's going to be. Yeah. If I use an acronym, I'm going to make sure that I explain to you guys what it is. So first of all, my name is Greg Bernard. I'm a native Memphian. I've been here all my life. I've been in technology 22 years, probably a little bit more. And this is my passion. I know people say if you do your passion, it's not like you're working. Well, that's a lie, because I work my butt off. The thing is, though, it's more. I think it's more fulfilling to you. You get a greater sense of accomplishment when you're doing things that you do from the heart. So this is something that I really love doing. I really love working with. I used to say small business owners, but now I deal with small business owners. I deal with medium-sized business owners. I deal with corporations. So I just love using technology to solve problems. So that's essentially what I do. People have a business problem, and I take technology and try to help them fill their void. That's it. The name of the company that I represent is called Data Maxim. We started in 2014, and people like, Data Maxim, what's the name about? So we originally started doing data analytics. And data analytics, all it is just using a lot of data points to help businesses make better decisions. If you get somebody that's been in business a while, they say, I have a gut feeling. Well, gut feelings don't cut it these days. They don't. Gut feelings could be indigestion or anything. So the more data points you have, the more information you're going to have to make solid business decisions. So we started off doing data analytics consulting, and the small pharmaceutical sales companies that we worked with, they were like, hey, can you guys present this to these doctors and these physicians, because we can't do it. So as we would go in and present, these doctors were like, hey, you guys are really good. What do you know about EMR, electronic medical records? What do you know about practice management? What do you know about servers? And I'm like, oh, well, we can figure it out. So it just kind of ballooned from there. So originally, most of our clients were physicians. They were clinics. But now we have clients that range from attorneys, insurance companies, warehouses. We even were able to pick up, and shameless plug here, we were able to pick up Amazon as a client last year. So we do some technical services for them. It's not a big contract, but it keeps the lights on. It does. And I didn't prepare a formal presentation, but I did put some bullet points down. And I just want to kind of talk to you guys, and I want to get you engaged. If you hear something and you want to know more about it, just ask a question. Just stop me, because again, this can be very boring, and I'm trying to keep a generalized conversation so you guys can kind of jump in. All right? Okay. Good. So just to kind of piggyback on something that Ron was saying earlier about his phone, these devices, they allow business to take place anywhere. And that was something we were talking about earlier. Think about 25 years ago. 25 years ago. I'm not going to say my age, but, but you really couldn't do business. I mean, you couldn't do business anywhere. I remember trying to get into computers. I was calling around, and I was talking to people and saying, hey, how do I get a certification? And they were like, okay, well, let me put something in the mail. And I'll send it to you in the mail. Now, who really sends mail now? Not many people. Even bill collectors, they say, do you want to opt out? And do you want to get the email mailed to you? They do. Everybody's trying to save trees. But technology allows business to take place anywhere. And that's what I love. So I support individuals that could be one person working out of a coffee shop, or they could be, a big organization. So one thing I want to talk about first is that if you are going to go into business for yourself, you're going to have some type of technology. A laptop, tablet, or something. If you're going to get something new. If you're not going to get it new, get it refurbished with the warranty, and that is a big deal. I can't tell you, and this is something that I'm speaking from my own personal, perspective. I can't tell you what it's like to go and talk to a potential client and your laptop doesn't work. I was getting ready to present early on in my career to a small business about a web app that we were going to develop for them. And I spent 30 minutes trying to get my projector working. We ultimately got the contract, but it was so embarrassing. It was. I was kind of looking at the PowerPoint presentation on my laptop and just kind of sketching it out on a piece of paper because they didn't have a printer. So it was really embarrassing. So get new computers, new technology with the warranty. If you can't get new, at least get something refurbished with the warranty. And I know everybody uses Amazon, right? Go to Amazon. You can get anything you want off Amazon. Also, I know everybody's heard of Office 365, right? Office 365. I use it all the time. I'm a proponent of it. Of course, there's some alternatives out there like Google Docs. I have friends in the room that use Google Docs for everything, and that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. But I just want to, just tell you though that there's going to be some situations where when you try to open up something, it's not going to be compatible. Everyone is using what? An Office, application, whether it's a standalone Office application or Office 365. Go with that. If money's tight, you can use some open source options like Open Office, or LibreOffice. But what they tell you, buyer beware. Yeah, I would not do it. I would definitely not do it. Does anybody know what cloud is? Yes. All right. Somebody, not you. Somebody tell me what cloud is. Storage. Okay. What kind of storage? that is right.
Store big files.
Well, not necessarily big files, but what
I
we gonna say?
Like the cloud is a space where you can put all your files in and access them from anywhere that you got internet.
That's true. That's true. And in this day and age, we have a lot of people that are scared to put information in the cloud. The cloud is nothing to be scared of. At its essence, the cloud is just somebody else's computer. This computer could be a virtual computer, which means that it's not an actual computer, it's inside of another computer. Or it could be an actual physical computer. And it will allow you to access your data pretty much anywhere. And a lot of people don't want to use it. They don't. I recommend it. There's so many options out there when it comes to the cloud. You got Dropbox, you got Box, you got Google, you got Apple, you got Microsoft. There's tons of options out there. So don't be scared. Don't be afraid to use cloud. And the cloud, go ahead.
Yeah, Greg, to your point, speaking of not being scared in general, I had a chance to watch the Senate hearing on yesterday.
Okay.
In regard to the Facebook user agreement, and for Mark being up there for 4 hours, he did a fantastic job.
Right.
I have to give him credit, but he was on the hot seat.
That's
so,
true.
With that being said, what are some other cyber threats other than data mining? Because the Senate committee placed a lot of emphasis on data mining, and rightfully so. But what are some other specific threats we need to be aware of, stemming from that?
Well, spear phishing, ransomware, just regular malware. I'm actually going to talk a little bit more about that. Okay. But to your point, those are a few right there. Okay. Yeah. One thing I always try to talk to clients when I talk to them about security, I always take them to a couple of websites. One of them is Norse.com, and the other one is Fortinet.com. These are real-time maps that show you the cyber threats that are going on at any given time across the world. And it is alarming. It is. It is alarming. These devices are, like someone was saying earlier, they're computers. They're computers in your hand. And they're computers in your hand. But I'm going to talk about, go ahead, Ron.
Well, I'm not sure if you're going to get to this, but kind of piggyback off that, you mentioned that the cloud shouldn't be anything that we should really be afraid of.
Right.
Overall, where is that data though? Like, what's holding that data, and what makes it so secure?
Well, it's about as secure as anything else. So the data could be anywhere. I know Amazon, they have a pretty big presence in the cloud, and what people don't realize is that if Amazon goes down, probably the majority of the internet is going to go down because a lot of companies, they use Amazon's storage. Does anybody know Amazon's story?
I know they started selling books.
Well, that's true.
They grown from there.
Yeah, but quickly though, Amazon, they were getting so much storage from other companies, but they were buying them out completely. Nobody had enough storage space for Amazon, so they got the bright idea. So they said, instead of buying storage space, let's just create our own storage space. So over half of the companies that are on the internet, they're on Amazon servers. They are.
If I can add to that, from a security perspective, there's this myth that when it comes to cloud services, they're more secure than the average, number one. We fail to look at, like they're talking about the Facebook hack right now, but the Department of Defense got hacked.
It's true.
Social Security Board got hacked.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And they have top-notch security. So our
Yeah.
cloud-based services, when they have cloud-based services, most of the time there's regulations that goes along with that they have to be secure at a certain encryption level, which is more secure than you have your own in-house server, right? And you trying to manage that security in-house.
Right.
So a lot of people say, I want to have my stuff right here. I know where it's at. But the cloud security is even more secure than your own server in-house most of the time, unless you have a large organization, security team, IT team that's going to be, monitoring those type of solutions.
So yeah, cloud is just about as secure as anything else. I mean, I go and talk to small businesses all the time, and some businesses not that small, and you'll see somebody's password sitting on top of their monitor. You raise up their keyboard, the password is there, or you're working on this is a server, somebody and say, okay, what's the password? Oh, it's password 1. Or I'm like, oh, okay. Really?
And one more thing to that. If you're a small business, and we have this thing about, hey, I'm just small business, nobody's gonna try to hack me. You need to at least have some type of security and invest in some type of security in your business, right? Because they're not just targeting a specific. They have tools that goes out and search for ports that's open, right?
That's true.
They don't know if you're a bank or if you're a small one-house organization. When those ports are open, they just go in.
That's it.
So
that's true. I'm going to talk about security a little bit more in a minute.
I apologize.
Yeah, that's okay. That's good. That's good though. That's good because, like I said, I go and talk to businesses all the time, and I try to encourage them to invest in security. Security should not be optional. It should not be, for real. But just trying to stay on topic though. Cloud, I mean, use it. Use it. I mean, it's going to give you the ability to store so much information, share so much information. I remember when I had one of my first computers, I remember saving stuff on floppy disks. I remember that, and I'm like, and now I don't even use the USB drives anymore. I mean, you could share gigs and gigs of data on the phone. Just okay, here you go, and you pretty much share your entire music library. So, yeah.
You make me feel old just wait.
hey, I'm probably older than you. I'm not going to date myself here though, but I'm probably older than you. For real.
I know how old he is.
All right, whippersnapper. And just kind of and just summing up on cloud. Well, not really summing it up, but standalone applications. If you can avoid using those and use cloud-based application, do that.
What do you mean by standalone?
I'm going to tell you. So everybody knows what QuickBooks is, right? Yeah. Most small businesses and some businesses not so small, they may use QuickBooks for bookkeeping. And what most people do, they say, okay, there's generally this individual that's sitting in the office, they're running QuickBooks on their computer. If anything happens to their computer, they're like, oh, you got to get Tom's computer up because he does payroll, or Sally, she can't pay any invoices. if you put that in the cloud, or you get the cloud-based version of QuickBooks, you don't have to worry about that. You don't. You don't have to worry about that. So that just eliminates the hardware threat as an issue. I mean, there are other things to worry about, but you don't have to worry about hardware breaking down. So anytime you're faced with a situation where you can do something in the cloud, do it. Or talk to somebody that knows, shameless plug, and they can come out and help. Let's see. Also, does everybody know what BYOD is? BYOD, bring your own device. Yeah.
First one.
Bring your own device. And I brought that up as I'm talking about cloud because if you create an environment, you foster an environment for your employees to use cloud resources, then you could save some money by having them to use their own computer. They bring their own device, they're using something that they're comfortable with. Think about it. If you're passing out Windows computers and they know how to use MacBooks, they want to use Chromebooks. I mean, you kind of pigeonhole them. If you use applications that are in the cloud, they can use whatever they want. Office 365 will work on pretty much any interface. It will. Go ahead.
How do you make sure that their at-home devices aren't a threat to their network?
Well, it's about crafting policy. So what you have to do, you have to set a minimum baseline and say, you know what, you can use this machine, but you're going to have this antivirus instance on it, and we're going to have to run a scan at least twice a month, once a month. So you have to set the policy. Yeah, you have to set the policy. Okay. And there are also a lot of businesses out there that still use a lot of paper. And it's troubling to me because paper, it causes such a big problem. What if your business burns down? What if somebody comes in and, or God forbid, you have an employee that's upset and they tear up everything. Well, they say, well, you know what? I'm going to quit. I'm just going to take all these files with me. Think about it. Cloud. Also, anybody know what form management is? So there are tools like Cognito Form and hang on, I got a couple more, but I use Cognito Form all the time. Jot Form, Form API. So just say you need to create a form because you're doing some kind of intake of your clients. You could take and put this on a tablet. You could put it on any kind of machine. You could even put it on a phone. And just say, well, the criteria changes. All you have to do is go to an interface and say, okay, you know what? We're going to ask this subset of questions versus these, and you can change it instantly, and everybody has it available. And a lot of this stuff kind of sounds simple, but I'm telling you, there are so many businesses that struggle with this simple stuff. So many struggle with that. And before I move away from cloud, anybody have any questions? Okay, next thing I want to talk about websites. Websites are generally going to come under two categories. I mean, most people say three, but I only say two. You're either going to have an e-commerce website where people are going to be buying your services or your products, or you're going to have an informational website where you're going to be posting and blogging or what have you. And what I find out is that, because we do a lot of web design, there are a lot of businesses that will spend a lot of time just, okay, let me just get it right. It's never going to be right. It's never going to be right. Focus more on functionality. If the people that are patronizing your business aren't complaining about your website, don't worry about it. I know companies that are making, tens of millions of dollars a year. They have websites that are made with Wix. Really, with Wix. And I'm not bashing Wix. I mean, it's a good platform, But then there are some people they may be doing things as a side gig, and they spend 5 or 6 months trying to put something together, and it's not recommended. It's not, it's not. So simple is always better. You can always go and make changes to it, and so, and then you want to engage somebody that knows what they're doing. A lot of business owners, they wear a lot of hats, and I like this. They'll tell me, okay, I want you to build it, and then I want you to teach me how to use it. Build it, teach me how to use it. And I have no problem. I'm an open person when it comes to technology. I try to make sure that I show my clients what I'm doing for them, what my team is doing for them, because when we show them that value, I think they appreciate it a lot more. But generally what happens is that you show them how to do it, you follow up with them 3 or 4 months later, website hasn't been updated, security hasn't been updated on the backside, and then you may get a call like, hey, I think somebody hacked my shopping cart, So if you are a business owner, put those types of things in the hands of somebody that can maintain them. I don't know anything about finance and accounting. I don't know anything about bookkeeping. I have a CPA that helps me out, and that's what they get paid for. So,
yeah. Are you saying that you actually create the content for your clients as well? Or you bring in those resources to be able to create that content?
To a certain degree, yeah. So I will bring in a business like AHA Creations. We partner kind of hand in hand. So they do a lot of web content creation. They do a lot of digital imagery, a lot of web copy stuff. So yeah, so I know where my strengths are, and I pride myself on not doing everything, but just making sure that it gets done. Okay. Social media, and that's something else that we see a whole lot of right now. I mean, everybody has a presence on social media, and most people don't know how to use it effectively. I don't know how to use it effectively. I don't. I have somebody that helps me with it, but people shortchange themselves when they don't do it. Like this event, I mean, Ron did a great job of promoting it. I mean, he did a great job of getting everybody here, but a lot of people don't put that kind of time into it. They don't. You go to social media, and again, it'll be like one of those resources that doesn't get updated on a regular basis. And in most cases, it's free. This is a window for people that do business with you or that want to do business with you to see what you're doing, to see what you're capable of. Use those resources that you have. I mean, and a lot of business owners, they be like, that's for the kids. Well, these kids are consumers. They're consumers. So you have to make sure that you market to a broad demographic. You have to. And sure.
Well, so who do you think the best host for websites is?
I don't have a preference. It just depends on what you're looking for. I mean, I've built stuff at one.com, HostMonster, GoDaddy. Quite a few. And then I've even built some stuff for the medical industry, and medical industry has to be on HIPAA compliant servers. So I've done some stuff on Liquid Web. So it just depends on what your price point is, because all of them are susceptible.
I got another question.
Okay.
Think about Squarespace.
What was that?
Squarespace.
Squarespace is okay. Yeah, it is. Like I said, as long as it's a functional site, the information is correct. No typos. And when people reach out to you, you engage them. I mean, it's okay. Yeah.
Is it? I guess when you speak of the different hosting sites, is there a difference in I hear Google looks at these things, like they have what they call spider bites or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You let me know. They go out and just search the web or whatever. But I heard when they're looking at website SEO or whatnot, that they're looking at also how fast your site loads up. When someone clicks on it or types in your URL, is that based upon the host?
It can be. It can be. But for the most part, you want to stay with somebody that has a name. And some of these small hosting companies, they'll buy space from some of the bigger people. So somebody will buy a chunk of space from Amazon, and then they'll take and put their stamp on it, and then they will take and sell it to somebody else. So You know, you have to kind of dig a little bit deeper. I always try to stay with a pretty popular name.
But and that was the reason why, you know, I thought I was a popular name until you said something about Wix. But, because I had Wix.
Come on, tell it to me.
I had GoDaddy at first, and I was building my site on my own. And
that was the problem.
And seriously, the problem was that I had the content, but GoDaddy wasn't as user friendly to set it up.
Right.
And when I discovered Wix, it was like drop and click.
Right.
And it also tells you when you add a line and everything. Now, I just recently heard GoDaddy called me and said that they just upgraded their system to where it's more of a drop click, kind of like similar to Wix. So I'm looking to convert it back, but it was just, I spent so much time building it on Wix where I'm like, feel like Eric Badu. I'm like, I'm in love with what I did on my site. So I don't even change the whole thing again, you know. And,
sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, sometimes when you have more options, it's not better.
Mm-hmm.
So Wix is they're going to keep you inside of this one box, and that's fine. You know, GoDaddy, before they upgraded, I mean, you had a lot of options, but, you know, it was still, I had a full head of hair when I first started, but I kind of pulled it out. So, but and then they also put you in a situation where you have to know, okay, is this image too large?
Yeah.
Yeah. So with Wix, you don't have to worry about it. They're going to tell you, you know, this needs to be small. Yeah. So they're going to tell you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I want. Yeah.
No,
So
go
one
ahead.
thing is how it's set up. You know, as a small business owner, like you stated, you might not have $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 or whatever it costs. I think a lot of small businesses may not even know what it costs to really have a site done. I think it's also different depending on the industry that they're in.
Right.
But I guess what I'm looking at is what is the standard now? Is it going up, clicking on menu and scrolling down all these different table of contents?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it just a constant scroll with the option of people being able to just hit back to the top or something like that, so to where they're user friendly on their phone, so there's just more of a scroll versus having to actually click on an icon or something of that nature?
Well, most web design, this full disclosure, most web design is based off of a template. It could be a WordPress template, or it could be a Bootstrap template, or it could be Drupal or Joomla. It could be any of those. You know, and generally what people will do, they will find a template that they like, and it needs to be a responsive template. Responsive, that means that if they open it on an iPad, or if they open it on a MacBook or a Windows computer, it's going to shape to fit it automatically. It'll look and it'll say, okay, well, this is what kind of device it is. I need to shape to it. And so that's what most people do. Yeah. And as far as the the menus, it's what your preference is. It is. Yeah.
If I could make a suggestion, so some of the stuff I didn't say, I have about 25 years in IT consulting, right? And I've had my own consulting firm for years. And what I noticed is when I spend time, like what Mr. Greg said, outside your element, when you should be spending time in your element, you know, even though I have the background and I know how to do websites and stuff like that, I can't never get it to where I want it to be because I don't have the expertise. I'm not a web design person or a graphic design person. And what I did was I messed around and started messing with a lot of freelance people to do it, and I never got what I really wanted until I went to a professional like AHA. Am I saying it correct? To a professional, just I'd rather save the money up, let them do what they do, you know, and spend my time on trying to build my business the other way, because it's going to take you 3 times as much time. You're still not going to have the right product that you really want, you know. And then when you go to an organization like Wix and things of that nature, from my perspective, organizations, when you hand your card to somebody, they looking at, you know, nytt.wix.com compared to nytt.com. You know what I mean? So they look at your email addresses and things of that nature to see if are you a legitimate business or are you just out here. They know where you at just by your branding, right?
Yeah.
So that makes a huge difference. Yeah. And even if you have somebody as a small business, I'm telling you, I've been in business 17, 18 years on the consulting side, and I've learned to just spend a little extra money, even if I got to get somebody in that profession to come out and give me some consulting or some coaching in that area to help. You understand what I'm saying? So that's just my advice on that area.
So do GoDaddy show up like that too?
No. Go there. You can buy your domain through them, but you can buy it anywhere.
See, I got Wix also, and I bought my domain through Wix, but it still show up like what he's saying. Like,
right.
It still show their Wix information sometimes.
But my other thing to answer the question that was asked, get back to that question, do your research on who you allow to do your hosting.
Right.
Because based off of what you're looking for on the site, if it's going to be extremely interactive videos and all this other stuff, you're going to need a little bit better hosting package or a hosting company to be able to handle that level of what you're doing.
Right.
So what he's saying, I just kind of wanted, because of the questions that I'm hearing, and I don't know if you want to go this deep, so you can stop me. There's a difference between hosting and a website builder, and a lot of times a hosting company will offer the building like Wix and Weebly, Weebly, and GoDaddy is trying really hard to have a user-friendly website builder, but you can actually build a website completely with a separate company or platform that you're hosting with. So your hosting is one thing. We're talking about speed and where that data is saved. So when I type in your website, where it goes to find it, to load it, versus who you're building it through, which could be a completely different company. And those are the cool pictures in the drag and drop, or if you want to write HTML code for the rest of your life. Just however you want to go about it. So, but I hear a lot of questions that people are saying the word hosting, but then they're talking about their website.
So we don't know what we're talking about.
See, I can teach you the they'll make it happen for you.
All right. Let's get back on topic. Yeah. So if anybody has any website questions, we can talk after the presentation.
Sorry.
That's okay. I'm used to you. Yeah.
What's www stand for?
And then, so somebody's already in business and they're trying to maintain client lists, and engagement. A CRM works wonders. Customer relationship management tool. That there are tons of them out there. Some of them they're free up until a certain point, and it just it baffles me now that I'll go meet with somebody and I'm looking at their client list sitting there on their desk, in a notebook, or a folder, and then it's got coffee stains on it or lunch stains or whatever, With a CRM, you can do so much with it. You can. So you can tie it into your social media. You can run marketing campaigns from it. I mean, you can send email blasts. You could be alerted of, okay, I did business with Joe Blow, and they have an accreditation, or something that's coming. Let me reach out to them, and say, hey, you got to get recertified, or hey, they got a birthday, or this is their company's, anniversary. You don't have to think about this stuff. You can put it on autopilot, and you get, alerts to your phone, to email, or you can even have some messages already crafted where they're sitting on their own. So, customer relations. Go ahead.
Yeah. So what is an example of like a CRM now?
Sugar CRM.
Constant Contact.
Yeah, Bitrix 24. Salesforce. There's a ton of them out there. A ton of them. Bitrix 24. I like it because it's free for the most part. You can create an account. You can log in and do quite a bit. When you start adding additional users, that's when you start to, get charged. Yeah.
And what is that called again?
Bitrix 24, Bitrix 24, and that's built on the Amazon platform. Just so you know.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
It is. It is very solid. It is.
Salesforce is cool because you can customize it too.
Yeah. And then Salesforce has a ton of apps, and that's another thing too. The CRMs, their worth is in being able to integrate into other tools. So they can integrate into Outlook and integrate into SAP and other applications You can even have them integrated into POS system. So, what was that?
In Box, you can integrate Salesforce into Box.
That's right. That's true. Yeah. That must be what you guys use. So,
yeah.
Really? Okay. Yeah. I'm just kind of moving right along. I'm going to kind of step into hardware just for a second. And does most people, does everyone know what a VoIP phone is?
Voice over IP.
That's correct. That's correct. Voice over IP phones, I really think the world of them because they run over Ethernet lines versus a regular phone line. I prefer advising clients to use those because you have so many more options. You can integrate it into your cell phone. It'll allow you to work remotely. And you can do so many more call management functions from a VoIP phone versus a standard phone line. And tons of companies out there that provide that service. Comcast does it. What is the name of this other company? They do it for the homes. I don't recommend them. Yeah. Vonage. Yeah, so they're okay. I don't really recommend them because they have some restrictions around bandwidth, some serious restrictions around bandwidth, but they're decent if you have a small office. Yeah. Okay. Another area that I advise my clients on is whether to go with a wireless solution or a wired solution. And now we have very robust speeds as far as wireless. And sometimes it just makes sense to set up an office and you don't run any cabling. But depending on how wide it is or what kind of information you're going to be working with, whether you're going to need to have some speed for video or for some kind of rendering for drawings, you may need to look at a wired option. So those are some things that I kind of help with. And something else too, I always try to do an assessment on the older buildings because we have, just say you had a building and they've been wired for the last 5 to 7 years or even longer. We now have gigabit speeds in the area. Everybody knows what gigabit speeds are, right? These are the fast speeds similar to fiber. Well, if you have an older office and you have gigabit running to your office, you're not going to enjoy those speeds if you don't have cabling that's going to be able to accept that speed. And I bring that up because I had a client, they were like, hey, look, we just had, our internet bumped up and we're not experiencing any kind of, performance. Increase in performance. What can you do? So I come out and I'm looking around, testing and everything. And first thing I see, they had old cabling. And it was a simple remedy, just go in and pull everything out, put new cabling in. But it definitely would have made, more sense for them to have the cabling done first. But that's something that, that has to be considered when you own real estate and business. Okay. And now I'm just kind of skipping around, kind of going back to security. Whether you work from a coffee shop or you work out of a clock tower or you work in a corporation, you want to keep security in mind. I see most people, first thing they do, they come in, they get connected to open Wi-Fi and they start working. They're like, oh, you know what? I got to pay this bill. And they log into their bank account. If you connect on an open Wi-Fi network, use a VPN, a virtual private network. There are tons of them out there. And that encrypts your connection over the public internet. It seems really simple, but I've had situations where people will set up they will spoof an actual connection. And somebody logs in and they're like, well, I've connected here before in this Starbucks. It wasn't this slow. And they start typing in their passwords for their email. They start typing in their passwords for their credit cards or what have you. And somebody, all they're doing is just logging all those keystrokes. They're getting all that data. They keep capturing all those packets. And then about a week later, they're like, man, somebody hit my bank account. And this is something that happens more often than not, it does. People think like, well, nobody's going to bother me, you know. I only have a little bit of money in the bank. They don't care. They do not care. All they're looking for is somebody to compromise. And then what they do is they compromise your system, and then they reach out to everybody in your address book. And then you get that email like, hey, why did you send me an email at 3 o'clock in the morning that says, hey, click on these pictures? So, again, encryption, and then also on your phones. And again, I hate to be jumping around, but this kind of pops in my head. If you're not using Wi-Fi on your phone, turn it off. If you're not using the Bluetooth on your phone, turn it off. Your phone can be compromised just like that. It can. Especially if you connect to Starbucks or some kind of well-known Wi-Fi. If you're driving around and you look at your phone and say, well, I'm connecting to Starbucks. You don't know what that is. You have no clue.
Everybody look at the guy over here on the couch.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting everybody's information.
That's right.
But that's seriously though.
Yeah.
In a serious matter, that's how a guy can just come in and sit out there and just grab everybody's information.
See with his back to the wall.
Yep.
Hey, they don't have to do that. They're just sitting there and you know, on the phone like, hey, you got those figures? And they just capture everybody's information. And Antoinette and I, we're going to, and Mr. Carter, we're going to put together, well, we've already put it together. We have and I hate to just jump around. We have this event at the end of the month, and I'm going to do a demonstration on how you can compromise a network. So if you guys are interested, let me know, and we'll give you information.
And bring your credit cards.
And your Bitcoin.
Great, I know we're going on. We're up at 1 o'clock, so always want to be mindful of time. If anybody does need to go, if we got a few minutes, we can still kind of continue, but just want to be mindful of everybody's time.
Okay.
Kind of 1 o'clock, so I understand if anybody needs to run. So.
I kind of do need to run.
Okay.
I take one more if I can give everybody a flag.
Please,
Sure.
Absolutely.
Can I say a quick thing before everybody runs?
Yes.
So a lot of organizations or people don't really know what their business really needs or what their needs are. I advise you to call Data Maximum and just have them come in and do an assessment of, even if you think everything's running fine, it never hurts to do a check-in, right? So I referred, and he's done a phenomenal business and just going in and doing assessments for companies that they thought was okay.
Yeah.
And it doesn't hurt to do a check-in.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt to do a check-in. So I most definitely recommend his services.
Greg, if I could add on a little bit with that real quick. We were talking about social media. One of the things that you should look at, even with your website and even with social media, that's grossly underutilized, which is crazy. So if you want to get on the front page of Google, what do you think is the best social media site to use? Google Plus. Google Plus, right. It's Google, right? A lot of people miss that because we're so enamored with the personal social side of Facebook.
That's true.
That a lot of people are falling so in love with Facebook. Don't forget LinkedIn and don't forget Google Plus. No, certainly if you're doing business, LinkedIn should really be your primary social media. It's actually mine.
Yeah.
You know, for many people that see me on Facebook, I'm 3 times that on LinkedIn. So if you ever jump on LinkedIn, I'm all over that. It's not so much the posting, it's the connecting piece, connecting with decision makers and things like that. So everybody in here in your business has people that you want to connect to. If I'm looking to meet with a company or do anything like that, that's the first place I go. It's LinkedIn, because typically I'm getting a resume, right? And the ability to connect with them. So definitely use that. Google Plus is definitely something. Even if you're not as active on it, you need to set it up, because if you ever search your business out, typically if you search the name of your business, one of the first things that will come up is, do you have the business Facebook page? Yeah. So you're not doing it all off your personal page.
Right.
Or don't try to use their personal platform to set up your business page. That'll get you kicked off. Set up a business page on your Facebook and then set up your Google Plus. And that will show up in the search, because your whole key is you want to be on that front page, page 1 of Google. The other thing I wanted to add too was, just in terms of technology, because we've had several people in the room that are kind of mixed between marketing, real estate, and kind of finance. So it'd be nice, Greg, if you could maybe share a little bit kind of between those industries of maybe what technology is on the horizon that you maybe see, and maybe for some of you to share, within your industry, what technologies do you see, coming forward? We have some people that work financial literacy, things like that. Obviously, it's not 1965, so you're not, Dr. King going door to door, right, with people anymore. You're not going to change anything in 2018 going door to door, certainly not any kind of quick. So you got to be able to leverage technology. How do you do that? And then one last quick thing is, with that, what's your philosophy on technology for your business? So whether you're an independent agent, you've got your own company, develop your philosophy within your company around how you're going to utilize technology. As it's been stated, technology should be a tool to help for efficiency. Right. It should not eliminate the human interaction.
That's true.
Right? So that's the corporate, the billion-dollar corporation is going to say, use it to wipe out the human interaction. So hopefully your philosophy, has some fiduciary duty to the environment, that you're using it to create efficiencies for you and your customer to drive down costs and to add value. And then by saving on that, the resources on that, you're then using that to enhance the customer experience. Because in all of our industries around, no matter nonprofit, real estate, whatever it is, in the future, the interaction between people will become that much more valuable, because everybody's going to try to stick everything on a touch screen.
That's true.
And so being able to leveraging the kind of information that we have in the room, to Brother Carter's point, you may be sitting there and you're just, you're getting paid and you're just trying to pay bills and send kids to school and all that, and we get that, but definitely leverage the people here in the room. That's the point of this. Is you've got great expertise that is willing to work with you. And, Brother Rod, that's kind of thing. We see that with a lot of business owners is you're kind of Daffy Duck in the kitchen, right? He's a one-man band. He's washing dishes with his foot. And that tends to be what we do, right? In those old cartoons. You got to be able to, exactly. And you got to be able to, at some point, develop a business so you're not spending as much time on the website. You want to be in the front of as many people, hopefully with money and with things that they want to do with money, as possible. And that's kind of for everybody. I'm saying with Rebecca, you want to be as far as many people that want to buy and sell houses as possible, not, fidgeting around with the website, all that kind of thing. So, just some things for us to consider as we, kind of wrap up. Think about your technology philosophy, and kind of move forward from there.
One last technology I want to talk about is artificial intelligence. AI is really big. I go to the Consumer Electronics Show every year, and I met a company there from South Korea, and essentially what they do is they use AI for disease predictive technology. So they're able to predict any kind of chronic disease within 4 years. So that is a really big deal. Anything around that, if you have an opportunity to learn about it, please get involved in it, because that's going to be a lot bigger than what it is right about now. It is. Yeah.
I think any other questions for Greg? Or Greg, do you have anything else you want?
No. I was going to wrap it up.
Yeah. So, any questions for Greg?
Sure.
Greg, back to security, as far as you talk about cell phones and all our smart devices and how easy they are to be compromised.
Right.
Are there any specific applications you can get for them that firewall that type of stuff and kind of make you a little bit more bulletproof?
You'll never be completely bulletproof, but what you can do is invest into what we call a UTM firewall, and that's a Unified Threat Management Firewall. They generally have antivirus built into them, and they will give you a reasonable level of security. The thing is that a lot of those they're trained. They use AI as well. They're trained, so they look at your surfing habits. So if you go to, just say you go to website XYZ, on a regular basis, and then one day you go to some site that looks like it, but it's kind of spoofed, it should point it out. But a lot of times people will, this looks like where I normally go. And if you accept it, then what good is the firewall?
Right.
So, yeah.
Are those able to be downloaded just from like the App Store and things like that on your phone, or where do you normally go to get some of those?
Well, I wouldn't trust anything that just runs on the phone alone.
Okay.
Now, they have tools. I would, whether you have a business at home or you have a physical presence somewhere, invest in the equipment. Even if you're using a cloud firewall, do that, especially at home. I mean, I know everybody's heard of IoT, right? The Internet of Things. That's essentially, all of the devices in your home that you have running on your Wi-Fi. This could be your doorbells, your cameras. It could be pretty much anything. I think the average home has probably like 9 to 11 internet-connected devices, and this goes up exponentially every year. Most of those devices, they have just a standard password on them. Anybody can compromise them. Anybody. So you should have something at your house. Some type of firewall or something that's going to lock it down.
I found I could access my network through my dishwasher
There you go.
when I first got Comcast. Really. These are real things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it doesn't have to have necessarily a screen on it. And I think that's where a lot of people get
That's
found.
right.
They think it's got to have a screen on it for it to be compromised. Anything that you connect to that. I mean, even people now that have their refrigerator, and, like you say, your washer, dryer,
Which
all
means
those
I can be
things.
hacked through
Yeah.
my dishwasher.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
What was that UTI? What is that stand for again?
It's a UTM, Unified Threat Management Firewall. I mean, it's a lot of people will make them. So so you can get a business grade one, or I would go to business grade one. Yeah.
So, if I can say, so a lot of the stuff that you talked about is great, and it's all based off of your background with network infrastructure, right? So no matter what size business you are,
right,
if you start off small and start off right, you can always grow into the next phase.
That's right.
Of what you need.
Yeah.
But you always need to start off right, right?
That's
so
true.
what he's talking about now with the infrastructure, all the stuff he talked about is run your business the same from an IT perspective. Your needs are kind of like the same no matter what level you're at, but it just grows, right?
That's true.
So all the stuff that he says, all the businesses really need those pieces in place. And if you start off small, when you're in a small business, it's going to be the same. It's just going to grow at a medium or enterprise type business. But it's always good to have the practice and policies and stuff in place, no matter what level you are as an entrepreneur.
That's true. Practice how you want to play.
That's it.
Solid foundation and just continue to grow.
Yeah. Does anybody have any more questions?
Any other questions? Great.
Okay. All right. I appreciate it.
Thank you again, Greg. It's really great information. And again, we're past time, so again, I want to be cognizant of that. Listen, thank you all for dedicating your time to this. I hope that you're able to get value from it. Feel free to share feedback, good, bad, or ugly. We just want to make these better. You may be asked at some point maybe to present at one of these, because we all have a level of expertise as you go around the room, that knowledge that can be shared. And one of the last things I'll share with you, and hopefully you take this with you, is if you look around the room, and there's a lot of diversity around the room of a lot of different industries and expertise, look to connect and do that. It's not easy to just go through the yellow pages and just try to find an IT company that's going to charge you $400 an hour to tell you what Greg just told you and what Mr. Carter just told you. So you've got great connectivity here with people across a number of different industries, and I encourage you to kind of build that as your team. Don't feel like that you're on an island out here. It's easy to do that when you're a business owner because your family may not be in business. They may all be at work right now and may not necessarily care that you're in business and things like that. And sometimes you can feel sometimes you can feel like you're Gilligan on the island, but you're not. So leverage each other, and I'm certainly available as well, and I love to work with everybody and help where I can. So does anybody have any like a quick announcement? Anybody have another event going on? I know, Greg, you shared your event, but if anybody's got another event, I'd love to have you share it with the group. Maybe some of us can attend.
I'll just re-plug Greg's event. So that's April 28th. And
Okay.
we're super excited. Mr. Carter with Mentoring Youth Through Technology and myself will be speaking about opportunities for youth and adults to get into technology. And of course, Greg will be speaking there as well. So we would love to see you guys come out and join us for that.
Where is it?
So it's actually in Memphis near the airport. And if you'd like, I can send you a link on Eventbrite so you can register for it.
Yeah, no, thank you. Any other event? I know John and I are hosting an event at Pyro's Pizza right down here on Ridgeway. Same time, 11:30. We're going to have a few financial partners going to speak to business taxes with some of the changes in taxation. You'll want to get some of that information too. You may think, oh, I'm a small business, I just have a 1040. But no, there are some changes that you need to be aware of as it comes to some of the changes in tax law. And so we'll have a couple experts teaching on that. But come get some free pizza and get some more information. But it's the Pyros right up here, Ridgeway. So that's next Wednesday. I think next Wednesday's what, the 18th? Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. So that's on Eventbrite as well. But definitely, get with me if you're interested in that. But that's 11:30 to 1 at Pyro's Pizza here on Ridgeway. So, if nothing else and all minds are clear, thank you so much. Did you have something?
Yes, sir. We have an event coming up actually this Saturday.
Okay.
It'll be at the Great Hall in Germantown. It'll give a great overview of what we do and how we do it.
Okay.
And if anybody's interested in that, for more information, you can give me a call or meet me after we dismiss.
Is there a ticket for that, or is it free? Or
It'll be free.
Okay. Yeah. So free.
Need to get in touch with me where I can save you a seat and meet you at the door.
There you go. Yeah. So again, lots of resources around. So thank you all so much for your time. Give yourself a hand. And, have a great day. Yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So we were wrapping up the Ages of Exchange Networking event, information technology. Hope you all gather great value from that in today's podcast. Make sure that you reach out to Greg Bernard for all of your IT needs and desires. That's www.datamaxim. So www.datamaxim.com, and that's Greg Bernard. And of course, you can always reach me, www.brooksbrothersconsulting.com. Listen, thank you all so much for listening. Share this podcast. You can check the podcast out with new episodes every Friday. And the website for the podcast is www.themybpodcast.com. themybpodcast.com. Thank y'all so much. Go out and be great for your family, be great for yourself, be great for your community. Peace.